This program is brought to you by House Lens. For more information about House Lens and real estate videos, visit www.houselens.com.
Hello, welcome to Eternity Now. My name's Chuck Young. Today I've got some people from the Business and Professional Foundation, a group that was chartered in Tennessee in 1966 with the Kentucky-Tennessee Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. It's a grassroots organization made up of folks from all walks of life. You don't need to be a business owner, a professional. The only qualification is that you love the Lord. Let's meet the officers and the business of the Business and Professional Foundation that are with me today. The president is Mike Sandifer, a truck driver from Brush Creek, Tennessee. How you doing, Mike?
Great.
Our vice president is Bob Kurzinski, retired Tennessee city planner in Madison. Bob, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Chuck.
Our treasurer is David Buckman, an MD, retired emergency physician who's practicing urgent care medicine in Hendersonville. How you doing, Dave? Good to see you. And then we've got the secretary, Michelle Jones, a homemaker with 5 children from Portland, Tennessee. Good to have you here, Michelle.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You know, tell us a little bit about the Business and Professional Foundation and what inspired you to get actively involved. Dave, you want to start with that?
Yeah, you know, a friend of mine, Arnold Clapp, who was the treasurer for several years before I became involved, visited with me, and he was in the process of retiring from the organization and invited me to consider becoming the treasurer. And I said, well, first of all, I don't know anything about BPF. Maybe share with me. And he explained to me that it was a lay organization whose purpose was helping to fund sort of fulfilling the gospel commission, you know, and that individuals from all walks of life contribute money into a funding pool, and that funding pool is recycled time and time and time again to projects like schools, remodeling, churches, evangelism, outreach, to basically help financially fulfill the gospel commission. And he said to me it was tax deductible, it was a 501c3 organization. And we got talking about it, and I realized that $1 given to this organization is recycled for basically eternity. If a person makes a donation, that dollar never goes away. The funding pool is used time and time and time again for projects that are applied for financial assistance. And I thought, well, that's a wonderful concept. And I thought, well, you know, I think I can get involved in that. That's a wonderful organization, and I support the idea.
Dave, how long have you been involved with the Business and Professional Foundation?
Just about 5 years. I got involved in January of '09.
What a wonderful organization to be involved with.
It has been. It's been really an exciting adventure to see what the Lord is doing through a lot of really basically hands working together for fulfilling the gospel commission.
Just the way Jesus did it.
Absolutely.
That's great. You can't get any better than that.
He said, I must be about my Father's business, and so we're all in business for the Lord.
Oh, praise God for that.
Yeah.
You know, Mike, you're the president of this wonderful organization. Now, you know, how did that come about?
I was at home, and I got this phone call from David Buckman. I'm like, who's David Buckman? I don't even know you.
Now, when was that? How long ago was that?
That was, what, in 12, I believe it was. Yeah, it seems
2012?
Like yeah. I think I've been involved about 2 years now. And he just told me who he was, that he was the treasurer of the Business Professionals Foundation, and
I had a request for him from the board, who had nominated him for office.
That's how those things happen sometimes.
And I'm like, the Business Professional Foundation. I've heard of the Business and Professional Men's Foundation that did loans and stuff. It's the same organization, he said. It got a name change, and
they dropped the men from the name a few years ago, didn't they?
Yeah, the past president for what, 9 years or so has been a woman, and so they finally dropped the men's.
Yeah, the men just didn't really quite work anymore after that.
Didn't quite work. But and I'm like, well, I don't know that I really qualify to be a member. What were you wanting me to be? And he's like, the president. And I'm like, then I knew he was joking. I'm like, I'm a truck driver. I'm not like a business professional as such. I said, yeah, I'm a professional truck driver, but when he got to explaining that, you know, we're actually all of us in the Lord's business, and we're needing some fresh new ideas and things like that, I took some time and I prayed about it, and I called him back about a week or two later, and I said, yeah, okay, I'll give this a try, and we'll see how it goes. And I've really enjoyed it.
Well, it sounds like it's rolling along really good, so you must be a good president after all. That's right.
I've come up with a couple of ideas that fortunately Michelle has helped implement. So.
Well, you know, that's a good segue into Michelle Jones. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you know, how you came into being the secretary for the Business and Professional Foundation?
Absolutely. It's actually been about a 13-year journey for me. About 13 years ago, I had my 3 oldest of the 5 sang at camp meeting, and we got a phone call one time asking if they would come to a business and professional retreat and sing for their retreat. And we did that and met some really great, wonderful people there and had a really good experience. After that, we moved to Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. And in Lawrenceburg, some of those people that were at the retreat lived there, and 2 of those were teachers at the elementary school. And one was a physician in the church. And they started talking a little bit about it, and we started asking them more questions due to that retreat. And then we got a phone call and asking if we'd be members. So we signed up to be a member, and we were members for several years. I became the treasurer down there in Lawrenceburg, and actually was able to also be involved in a project that utilized the Business and Professional Foundation to do the Life Community Center that we built down there. That's a kind of with the school. And that was my first experience personally at seeing something come about that they were involved with. And I was very impressed at how that worked, because it really allows the churches to tap into something that makes them a good steward of the Lord's money in trying to build their community and build their involvement there in the community. And then a couple years back, I got a phone call asking if I would be secretary. And I accepted that, and am very proud to be involved in this organization. It really is allowing the larger churches to help the smaller churches and schools, which is what I believe scriptures ask us to do.
Yes.
And it's allowing these smaller churches to build and expand in ways that we feel like are biblically sound financial ways.
So it sounds like it was a community center that you were first involved with in a hands-on way, just as a worker, not really as the secretary for the foundation.
Yes, it was, and that center Lawrenceburg has built to be something that serves the community as a tornado shelter type of thing. They also utilize it for all kinds of events that they invite the community to, and it serves also as the gymnasium for the elementary school. So a very good project there for Lawrenceburg.
You know, I'm glad you went into such a detail about that, because it sort of gives our viewers an idea of the type of project that this foundation is involved with in a very clear way. You know, building a community center that's just to help people, and done on these very low interest loans, and just what a wonderful thing, or no interest loans. I mean, just what a wonderful thing that you guys have going there. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Bob, why don't you tell us a little bit about how you got involved with this foundation and when you got involved with it?
I was involved with this foundation about 2 years ago based on a phone call that I got from Dr. Buckner. He said, Bob, would you consider being our vice president? And I thought that was a real, the task of doing what I thought we should be doing as a business and professional foundation. I appreciated that call. And what I'm interested in, Chuck, is how we can expand our organization to invite other individuals, men, women, in their professional, whatever they do, electricians, plumbers, whatever, taxi drivers, city managers, whatever it is, we want them to be a part of this organization. And so I've thoroughly enjoyed being a part of this and look forward to further endeavors.
Well, I'll tell you, I think they've picked a good man. I've known you for quite a while from up at the Ridgetop Church.
That's correct.
And it was a delightful surprise to see that you were the vice president. And sounds like you've really stepped up and enjoyed doing that job too.
That's correct. I have always enjoyed that.
Well, and you mentioned the kind of people that can get involved with this organization are not just your what you would call your high dollar professional folks. It's anybody who wants to make a donation and contribute to God's work in a very substantial way. And those dollars, those $5 or $10, will add up to thousands eventually. Could we talk a little more about some of the projects that you guys have done, the church buildings or the school buildings expansions, the remodeling? I love the idea of the community center because, of course, we've got a beautiful community center here in Nashville too. And would one of you guys like to take the helm and just talk about some of those projects?
One of the first ones that, that comes to mind since I've been involved is actually providing funding for our Hispanic brothers and sisters to have a church in Lebanon.
That's a growing community throughout the United States right now.
And they approached us, about providing funding for them to buy a piece of property, remodel it, and turn it into a worship center for their group. And that was something that actually is ongoing. They're almost finished paying that off now, and they're a growing church. And it's exciting to see, like you say, that part of the population finding a worship home within the Adventist church.
So what does a church like that starts, how many people are involved with that church when it first started, before you guys?
Probably approximately, maybe 30.
So that's a small group of people for a church.
Yes.
And since you guys got it built, what did that grow to?
Well, what's happened is they're actually, I understand unofficially that they're no longer using the facility that we helped fund, but they've actually purchased a new facility, and I think their membership is probably doubled or more at this point. I don't know the official numbers.
Isn't that something?
But it's really exciting,
That is wonderful.
Michelle mentioned Lawrenceburg. Lawrenceburg has used business and professional funding off and on throughout a number of years, and one of the things that they did was remodel the local elementary school, from top to bottom. And by the way, they finished, we had a celebration with them last year. They finished paying off every part of their funding. Wow. It's just been wonderful to see that happen, and it's been a period of about 10 years. They've had project after project after project.
Oh, what a blessing for a Christian elementary school, a Seventh-day Adventist elementary school. And I can't let this opportunity pass without saying something about the Adventist school system, because the money that goes into a project like that is such a worthy cause. Because I've been an Adventist for 35 years now, but I just recently took a tour of an Adventist elementary school and high school here in Nashville over at Madison campus, and right next to the Madison campus church there. And as we went through there, I've never seen a more holy environment to raise children in, where they can worship God freely and have prayer in school, and of course have healthy lunches, something that we're really known for in our church. And what a great cause to provide money in no or low interest loans and what an easy thing to do, to turn it over to guys like Mike here and to you to just provide that for children who, who might not otherwise get a Christian education.
And that really is evangelism at its best, providing an environment for our own children to have a relationship with Jesus.
What are some of the other projects that are going on, building projects or otherwise, that you'd like to share, because so many people seeing this might like to get involved with?
We think about some of the small churches in the conference, like for instance Jamestown, Kentucky. Small group, small church in the country. They needed to significantly repair and sort of remodel the entire sanctuary, from the roof to the walls to the floor. And that group of people donated the labor, and with a small loan from us, I think theirs was around $10,000, this group of maybe, I think around 25 to 30 people, entirely remodeled their sanctuary. And we visited there not long ago, and just we're thrilled with the environment that they've created for worship. That's a small country church. Pulaski is another example. They used funding actually to kind of restore a residence that they rent out to help fund their church budget. That's a different way of approaching things.
And the smaller churches like that are the people that really need help with these kind of things. I bet most of the things that you do are for smaller projects.
They really are. That's our focus, Now there are some larger churches that approach us. Bowling Green has used funding, I think in excess of $200,000 to build a new gymnasium and school classrooms. Louisville, again, a fairly sizable amount of money to add a 9th and 10th grade to their school. I think their project was around $200,000, something like that. So, but we really do see our purpose as responding to the needs of the smaller churches that wouldn't be able to do what they need to do, going out and getting commercial high-interest loans.
It's just such a mind-boggling thing that people can get this kind of money to accomplish such a great cause from you guys, and it little or no cost and interest. It just blows my mind that something like that's available through the Business and Professional Foundation.
And the way it's set up is that the first 2 years are interest-free. The next 2 years are very low interest, and it kind of graduates up to a point of maybe averaging around 3 or 4% interest when the program is matured at 7 years. So most churches use the funding for 7 years or less.
Well, we've talked a little bit about just what you guys are doing and how much it's helping, particularly some of these smaller churches, schools, and other other things that are going on. Where can a church or a school get more information about applying for this grant so that they can take advantage of a loan like that, or a grant?
Well, there's several. Let me just refer to our brochure here. There's several ways to do that. We have a snail mail address, which is 242 West Main Street, Hendersonville, Tennessee. We have an email, which would be a real convenient way, which you just email information@KentuckyTennessee-BPF.org. We would have to show that.
That's that's actually stated in letters, isn't it?
Yes.
Why don't you read it exactly as it would be?
Information, the word information, at KYTN not underline, but BPF.org.
And I believe we'll have that on the screen. So
and we also, they can access us through our website, which is www.kytn-bpf.org. And we're on Facebook as well.
Now, what about people that just want to get some information about becoming a member of the Business and Professional Foundation? Is that where they need to go to get that information?
Yes, I think a good place would be our website, that website address directly.
Okay.
And there's basically information regarding membership, regarding our projects, and how they can become involved.
Well, that is just such a great thing that you guys have going there. Michelle, I think you'd be a great one to share just what kind of people can get involved with the Business and Professional Foundation.
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. Anyone can get involved with the Business and Professional Foundation. This is something that has not been out there much, and people don't know about us, but it's important for them to know about us because even small children can get involved. If we take a classroom, for example, you can ask the students to give $1 for the week, collect that money, and then tell them that this will go towards other children that do not have a classroom or have a classroom that's breaking down and we're going to remodel, or a gymnasium that they can play in, just like the one that they get to play in. And then there are mothers that could be involved in their community service centers. We want to get the word out that this is something that is important for everyone to be able to serve and to minister to smaller churches and to smaller schools. That is one of the most important things for us, is understanding that the Business and Professional Foundation is not just for professionals and business members. It is for people who are in the business of ministering and serving other people.
Amen.
You know, Michelle, that's so well said. So if somebody wanted to have, somebody like me, for instance, that's got too much junk in my garage, wanted to get a few people together and have a garage sale to raise some money, they could donate that to the Business and Professional Foundation. And just what a blessing that would be to be able to just donate some money in that way.
Absolutely. And it's also on our website. It's a great place to go, Facebook and website, to see updates. We try to post pictures of the projects that have been done. So you can take a picture and print it out when that project is complete to put up in your classroom or to show your family at home that this is what they've been able to be a part of and contribute to.
You know, I can't think of a better way to contribute to the Great Commission of getting God's Word, you know, all the way around this planet before Jesus comes back, and help as many people to be ready as possible.
Yes, and in these economic hard times, sometimes it's important to understand that we're all coming together to help so that people can take out loans interest-free, which allow them to be good stewards of God's money.
And it's really good to remember that, yes, it is tax deductible. You get a tax deduction, but that dollar is given, 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 and given again. The average lifetime of the donor, that dollar is given at least 6 or 7 times.
You know, that brings up a thought. Over the years, this started back in 1966, and over the years, would you want to discuss just a little bit about how much money has been raised by the organization and how much money has been actually used out there to help in these wonderful causes?
Well, we're a small group, okay? We need to grow. But this small group of dedicated people, since 1966, has donated, in round figures, $500,000, about $10,000 a year, approximately. Those funds have been loaned out, recycled, given again, and approximately $3 million plus dollars have been used to fund projects. In terms of the loan program, about 20,000 plus have been used in the grant program so far.
Isn't that something to raise that kind of money? And to turn it around to that extent, it's just a wonderful blessing, you know, to so many people.
Well, and if you figure, if that's happened with a very small group of people, I mean, our membership has been in the average of maybe 30 to 50. Presently, it's around 80. We need thousands of members.
You know, the one thing is a lot of people are not aware that this organization even exists, and if they have heard of it before now, they didn't really know what was involved with that. And you guys have done such a wonderful job of explaining just what's going on with the Business and Professional Foundation that is an organization you know, here within the Kentucky-Tennessee Conference area of Seventh-day Adventists. And you know, I just can't say how eye-opening and that it's been for me and how much I appreciate it. My wife and I were talking about it this morning as I was looking over some of the material. And sure, I've heard of you guys, but you know, I'm kind of ashamed to say that I've never donated any money. And now I'm thinking, well, I don't have to be this rich guy to do that. I can have a garage sale and you know, and take the money made from that and donate. And can't think of a better cause to do that. In closing, is there anything else that anyone would like to share about the Business and Professional Foundation and just maybe what it's meant to you personally?
I know for me, it has really opened my eyes as to what the organization does. And whenever Dave calls me and tells me about a church or a school or somebody that's needing some money, and I ask him, I said, do we actually have that much? And he's like, yeah, and it's just sitting there, it's not being used. And I'm like, what better way to use the money that God wants us to use to help further His cause, whether it's a school, whether it's a church, whether it's a grant program, to help further His cause. You know, it makes me feel so good that we actually have the opportunity to help people out that way.
And I think, you know, to me, the organization is a good example of what happened when Jesus fed the 5,000. This little lad just
What
brought,
a great example.
you know, a few fishes and loaves, and in Jesus' hands, it fed 5,000. You know, that's what this is about. It's giving your little loaf or your fish or your 2 mites and letting God multiply it.
And you know, it's important to say that nobody is making any money off of the money that comes in. This is a completely volunteer organization. All you guys are volunteers. You're not on the payroll. Bob's not over here getting rich out of the donations that come in, and nobody is. Only the people that are out there benefiting from these wonderful projects are the ones that are taking advantage of this money that's coming in. You know, I just want to thank you guys so much, Bob, Mike, Michelle, and Dave, for coming in to talk about the Business and Professional Foundation. Anyone out there listening, if you want to contribute to such a great cause, get in touch with that website. In fact, go to that website and look at some of the projects going on. I bet you that you'll be moved in a way maybe that you haven't been before. Help Jesus finish His work. The Business and Professional Foundation. Make a donation. I bet you'll be glad that you did. I hope you come back to Eternity Now. We do Bible presentations and we have interviews here, and we hope the Lord is lifted up. God bless you.
In the United States, about 1 in 3 adults has elevated blood pressure. Many do not know that they have a problem. It is a problem that needs to be taken seriously. High blood pressure can result in stroke, heart attack, kidney disease, and even blindness as a result of hemorrhage in the retina of the eye. For a quick read and simple information, ask for this free offer. Contact us at www.health-hope.org.